Good morning, and welcome to our Sunday worship service. I am Lilia Orr, and I'll be your celebrant this morning. I'd like to extend a special welcome to all those who are joining us for the first time. We are so very glad you're here. If you've come in person, you should have received a welcome packet when you arrived. It's got a card in it. If you fill that out and drop it in the offering basket, we will be in touch to support you in finding your way into our community. If you are joining us online, there's a link to our website to an electronic version of that same card. Whether you are new or not, if you are here in person, please join us downstairs for coffee and conversation after the service. Our welcoming committee members have yellow name tags and can answer you any questions or point you towards additional information. And now, let's say our words of welcome together. You are an essential part of our celebration today. Whether today is the first or thousandth Sunday in our midst, we are stronger because you are with us. We are one people of many beliefs, identities, origins, sexualities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Body, mind, heart, and spirit, just as you are welcome here. Now we will take a moment to say a hello across the technical divide. First, we're going to show the people joining us on Zoom. If you are at home, please turn on your camera. Now, people at home, wave. Now, people who are attending the service in our building, it is your turn to wave. We do have a couple of announcements.
Hi, I'm Ginger Yoder, and I am the Director of Family Ministries here at this church, and I'm also on the Safety Committee, which is a new committee that's looking through all of the things that we need to figure out how to be in this building safely and help one another if there is an emergency. Now we have some exciting updates, and I wanted to share those with you this morning. We first have completed emergency exit maps, and they are around in the different rooms so that if you are in an emergency, you can see what is the quickest way to exit our building. So after service, maybe find a couple of those and identify where we are on the maps. We also have put up our AED, which is our defibrillator, and this is a life-saving device in case someone is having a heart emergency, and it is located on the second floor foyer just outside of the sanctuary doors, so it's pretty central to our building. Now, we have two upcoming trainings that will actually help us use this device and become better prepared for emergencies. The first is February 26th. It is a Sunday after church for just 1 hour, 12 to 1. And it's an orientation and training on the AED use and some other things that the fire department puts on that helps us know how to respond in emergencies. And since this is free and it's just an hour, we're hoping many of you will make plans to attend this training. The other one is actually February 12th, and it is a full CPR first aid course. Now this will get you your 2-year CPR certification, and it's an $80 course, but there are scholarships available. And the way this works is you will gain access to a few hours of videos that you watch at home on your own time, and then a 2-hour culmination training at the end, again, on February 12th, a Sunday. So we hope that you can get a hold of me or any other member of the safety team if you have questions or would like to be a part of these courses.
Archie George. I'm the chair of the stewardship committee, and I'll be downstairs after the service giving out chocolate bonbons for everyone who's donated or pledged for the 2023 stewardship campaign. And so I hope to see you there. And for those of you online, you can donate as we see in the offertory. Thank you, everyone. The stewardship campaign is going exceptionally well this year, but there's still a few folks we'd like to hear from. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll read mine. The Palouse Zen community invites members of the UUCP community to join them in Zazen, a sitting meditation in the UUCP library on the 3rd floor at 7 p.m. on Thursday evenings. Anyone interested can talk with Pat Hine or Joe Palin. You may also use the contact form on the Palouse Zen community's webpage, palousezen.org.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Stevens. I'm the minister here, and I just wanted to give everyone a quick heads up. We had a big email, a spam email that went out to pretty much everybody in the congregation this weekend asking, and if you followed through, eventually they asked you for gift cards, but initially it was just supposedly me asking for a favor. So I just want to be clear. You can, if you get something and it feels a little fishy, you can contact me anytime. I will never ask for gift cards. I will never ask for money outside of official channels. You know, I might say we need money for the discretionary fund, but I'm never going to say I need it, you know, can you send me a check? So please be very careful with your personal information. We have identified where they got your emails. We've closed that down. Hopefully it won't happen again. And we're really sorry. But this happens at every church all the time. They're endlessly inventive in terms of trying to steal. Anyway, apologies.
That was the end of our announcements. We preface our service by acknowledging our church was built on the ancestral homelands of the Nimipu, called the Nez Perce by the French-speaking traders, the Palouse, the Chichumps, called the Coeur d'Alene. Let us pause and remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that was stolen, ground that cries out for justice and for responsible stewardship. May our remembering help us to find the courage to do our part to restore wholeness to the earth and to all of her peoples. We also pause to light a candle and pray for peace. We hold in our heart all those who are currently threatened by greed and imperialism, from the people in Ukraine to all those in Burma and Somalia. May we recommit ourselves to nurturing peace in the world and peace within. We are hoping that the folks joining us via Zoom have a chalice or candle to light and something to light it with. Let's light our chalices together. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek and seek to share. Dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung in every land by every tongue.
So again, good morning. This morning's service focuses on the benefits of laughter. According to the Mayo Clinic, laughter, it turns out, is really good for us. It stimulates our heart, lungs, and muscles. It increases endorphins in our brains. And interestingly, it both fires up and cools down our stress responses, which increases and then decreases our heart rate and our blood pressure and leaves us with a good, relaxed feeling. So it breaks through that stress response, that trauma, fight, flight, fawn trap. Over the long term, data shows that laughing regularly improves our immune system. It can relieve pain. It improves our mood and mental health and our self-esteem. Importantly, it helps us connect with other people. Adam Brody of Chopra goes as far as to say that humor and comedy may be an evolutionary coping mechanism to help us be not quite so overwhelmed by a sometimes terrifying and dangerous world. So it's an important tool in our spiritual toolkit and worth exploring, playing with, and reflecting on. Today, we are going to laugh together, not in denial of the things in our personal lives or our world that are hard and heavy, but because laughing, and more importantly, laughing together, will help us hold it all more lightly. Our opening words come from the brilliant comedian Hannah Gadsby. If you haven't watched Nanette and Douglas, I strongly recommend them both. Good laughs interspersed with deep truths and heart-opening insights. These words actually come from Nanette. Laughter is the best medicine, they say. I don't. I reckon penicillin might give it the nudge. There is truth to it, though. Laughter is very, very good for the human. It really is, because when you laugh, you release tension. And when you hold tension in your human body, it's not healthy. It's not healthy psychologically or physically. That's why it's good to laugh. It's even better to laugh with other people. When you laugh in a room full of people, when you share a laugh, you'll release more tension because laughter is infectious. You stand to release more tension when you laugh with other people than you would if you laugh alone. Mainly because when you laugh alone, that's mental illness. And that's a different kind of tension. Laughter doesn't help, trust me. Tension isolates us, and laughter connects us. Our opening hymn has words by the late Reverend Peter Rabel. It's called Coffee, Coffee, Coffee. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit.
It's to the tune of number 26.
Coffee, 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 praise the strength of coffee. Early in the morn we rise with thoughts of only thee. Served fresh or reheated, dark I just want to say that tea drinkers, we are all inclusive here, and tea drinkers are also welcome in our community. Would the children like to come forward for our time for all ages?
We have a check to present today from our Month of Sundays program. I'd like to invite Mary Jo Hamilton forward.
Take this off. Hi. You know, perhaps remember in the past we were able to give our Month of Sundays collection to our recipients in person, and we've not been able to do that really for about 3 years. So it's very exciting to be able to go back and do this now. I've got Ken Corey Grow from the Spokane Pan Parenthood office is here to accept a check. Let's see here. How do I get into the check? Sorry. Okay, we were able to collect for Planned Parenthood $2,531.77. He's going to talk a little bit about the office in Spokane.
Can I move this? Thank you so much. I can't begin to put to words how grateful I am for you all and for how grateful I am to be here today. That is an incredible donation, an incredible showing of support and engagement that we at Planned Parenthood of Greater Washington and North Idaho will just always be grateful for. I wanted to thank Mary Jo and Reverend Elizabeth in particular for allowing me a little bit of time today to talk about the services of Planned Parenthood of Greater Washington and North Idaho. This last year has been a challenging one, which I am sure is no surprise to any of you. But amidst that challenge, we have seen an incredible outpouring of support, financially, again, in engagement, and just in local voices. And I want to thank everyone here for being a part of that, allowing us to do our mission. Planned Parenthood Greater Washington and North Idaho, or PPGWINI. My partner also will comically mess up and call it PP New Guinea. So just in the theme of laughing today, we can start with that. We have 11 clinics in Washington State and bordering North Idaho, and that is a really important feature for us. The closest clinic to Moscow here is in Pullman, and between 3 clinics in Spokane Valley, Spokane, and Pullman, we see a lot of Idaho-based patients. We see about 200 Idaho patients a month. And these are patients that are coming to us for an assortment of services. Planned Parenthood is proud to present services in abortion, reproductive health care, sexual education, behavioral health services. We've launched a lot of telemedicine visits over the last few years. We do general practitioner medicines, sports physicals, agricultural education. We are out in the community trying to make sure that the needs are met wherever our patients are. Some of the most exciting things about Planned Parenthood is our mobile clinics effort. So recently, over the last couple of years in COVID, we know that getting to Planned Parenthood can be a very difficult challenge for people. So we've launched a mobile clinic, and this just goes to people where they're at, especially rural communities, to offer them, again, education, the COVID vaccine, STI treatment or screening. And so we're really excited to be able to provide that service. The fight is certainly not over. The last couple of years have been incredibly challenging for Planned Parenthood, and the next few will also be. An independent study done by the Guttmacher Institute anticipated a 300% increase in patient load for PPGWINI. This is predominantly of Idaho patients who have been restricted access to abortion health care. And this is essential health care. This is something that many people need. And I wanted to say that we've already seen the beginning of that wave, about 195% increase in our abortion services over the last year. The need is very real. We saw that incredible outpouring of support. We call it rage giving a little bit, because we're all so outraged over the last year, and I know that it's easy for that rage to die down and get settled into our routines. It happens to us all, but I urge and encourage you all to again, continue to be advocates to your local communities, be a voice for this essential mission, this essential healthcare, this essential right. And I just, again, want to thank you all for this incredibly generous donation and all of your support to Planned Parenthood. Thank you all so much.
Now, let's take a moment to engage in the practice of generosity together. For those of you able to make a financial contributions, the logistics are on your screen. We invite you to either copy down the information you need or simply go to the website to make a donation. The web address is in the chat. Those of you who are newer or visiting from another part of the country may not be aware that we typically give away all of the cash from our Sunday offering to local charities whose missions align with our values, a program called the Month of Sundays. This month, the recipient is our local chapter of St. Vincent de Paul, an all-volunteer organization that provides visits and financial support to local people in need, regardless of race, nationality, religion, or sexual orientation. If you are donating online, you can choose Month of Sundays from the drop-down menu. If you are mailing or dropping off a check, simply indicate in the memo line whether it is intended for the Month of Sundays or our general fund. In the spirit of love and for the continuing work of the church, we will now take some time to practice generosity together. I said no.
Now I want to do a Britney Spears service. I now invite Elizabeth forward to lead us through Joys and Sorrows. Thank you, Elizabeth. One of the ways okay? Okay. One of the ways to get a good laugh rolling is actually to just start laughing. This is called laughter yoga. So for our time of meditation today, we're going to share this laughter yoga meditation adapted from one written by my colleague, Viola Abbott. So you can sit or you can stand. Point is get comfortable because we have to warm up first. Laughter is serious business. So we're going to start by taking a nice long yawning stretch. Ready? All right, maybe a couple of them. So if you don't have to yawn, you just make yourself. We want to limber up the muscles we're going to use. We're going to rub our face around the jaw. Now we're going to make some funny faces. All right, now we're going to start our yoga by smiling. Just smile. You may not feel there's much, if anything, to smile about, and if this really isn't for you, then don't do it, but just try. Try to just smile. Maybe thinking of someone or something that you have warm feelings for will help. And then gradually, we're going to start to laugh, and we can fake it until we make it. So breathe deep into your belly. Ha! Ha 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 I just made a room full of grown-ups laugh. All right, shake it off. And now I'll invite the choir forward for our sung meditation. Our reading today is animal identification. So if we could have the first slide. What is this? That is a danger noodle. And this? A raccoon. Nope, it is a trash panda. Trash panda. Okay, this one? This is my favorite. Flying flip flap. I all know this one, right? Skunk. Fart squirrel. A rhinoceros. Desert unicorn. This one? A penguin. No, it's a formal wear chicken. Can you tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? Yeah, no, that's neither. This is an American murder log. And this one? This is Gandalf the wizard cow. Beautiful animal, huh? Mm-hmm. Danger zebra. And this one's just totally random. It's a toad? No, it's a chuzzwazzer. So I chose to start with silly animal names because when I first saw these, it made me laugh so hard that my stomach hurt. I kept going through them. And so what I'd ask is, what is it that makes you laugh that way? What makes you laugh so hard that your stomach hurts? Physical comedy. Uh-huh. Surprise? Grandchildren. Mm-hmm. Incongruities. Pets. God, my dog makes me laugh that hard all the time. So, do you ever feel guilty about laughing? Mm-hmm. Like, how frivolous am I spending time looking through goofy memes when there are people suffering all around? But here's the thing, and if possible, this is the one thing that I want you to take away from today. Laughter doesn't invalidate or minimize grief, horror, and trauma. Laughter is one of the things that allows us to process and integrate grief, horror, and trauma. It is key to our sanity and to our survival. Of course, what makes us laugh varies from person to person. I really love simple, silly jokes, like my favorite joke in the whole world. What's brown and sticky? A stick. I'm sorry. I don't know why that tickles me so much, but it always has. Or another favorite one in our house. Knock, knock. Interrupting cow. Moo! Simple and goofy, and I know, not to everyone's taste. I'm sure you are all more sophisticated and highbrow than I am. But humor is subjective. What each of us finds funny is going to be different. And of course, there are multiple genres of humor. So there's physical comedy or slapstick humor. So think of the Three Stooges or some of America's funniest home videos, like the ones where people get hit in the groin or fall. Love physical comedy. I'm a little too empathetic for it. It doesn't always work for me. I tend to go, ooh, 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 instead of laughing. Like, I can feel the bruises, you know? Like, I know what he's going to feel like the next morning. So there's parody or spoofs. They make fun of other people's creative output. For example, Jack Handy's Deep Thoughts, which makes fun of those motivational posters that you find in like doctors' offices and stuff like that. So here's one. Is there anything more beautiful than a beautiful, beautiful flamingo flying across in front of a beautiful sunset, and he's carrying a very beautiful rose in his beak, and also he's carrying a very beautiful painting with his feet, and also you're drunk. I think maybe my favorite parody is Alexa Silver, which is a skit from Saturday Night Live. I wish I had time to show it to you all. It is hilarious. It's about an Amazon Alexa designed specifically for senior citizens. Yeah, Google it, I promise you won't regret it. So that's parody. Now, satire uses exaggeration to expose flaws in human nature, like this cartoon. I manage my kids' time online by making them play outside, and there are the kids on their swings with their screens. Or this one, which is one of my all-time favorites. My desire to be well-informed is currently at odds with my desire to remain sane. This is from The New Yorker. I think good satire sort of starts with this oof of recognition, and that's followed by sort of a rueful chuckle. But it can be effective. Molly Ivins once said that satire is traditionally the weapon of the powerless against the powerful. Now, one of the greatest examples of satire, of course, is Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal. Are we familiar with that one? We're going to solve the hunger crisis in Ireland by eating babies. And it's a horrible idea, just like disgusting, but it did open up conversations about class differences and the gap between the rich and the poor and the need for social reform in Ireland. It led to real change, so satire can be effective. I love satire, and for years I got all of my political news from Comedy Central. Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart kept me informed because they do a surprisingly good job of actually researching and explaining things. But I didn't feel weighed down or despairing the way I did if I watched regular news because I was laughing the whole time. And I love Trevor Noah and John Oliver too, but I stopped paying for cable. Anyway, going back to the different kinds of humor, we have irony, which is conveying something opposite from the literal meaning. With apologies to Alanis Morissette, it's not rain on your wedding day. It's more like saying, well, picking up the pile of dog feces someone left on the sidewalk in front of your house. Oh, I'm so glad all of the dog owners around here are responsible and considerate, which I actually did say just a couple days ago. Sarcasm can be a tricky kind of humor because it can tip pretty easily into meanness. Still, it's effective and can be quite funny. It's a kind of irony that's directed at a person. I occasionally found it useful in parenting, so parents, pay attention. No, really, I love cleaning up all your dirty dishes for you after I worked all day. Please keep playing your computer game. So then we have farce. Farce uses highly exaggerated, extravagant, or ridiculous situations to make us laugh out loud. I once saw a play called Noises Off. Anyone seen Noises Off? Okay, so it's a play within a play that features a somewhat clueless woman wandering through offering people sardines. It was hilarious. I almost busted a rib laughing. So farce is really good. Dark comedy makes light of a subject often considered serious or taboo. My extended family has a bit of a penchant for dark humor. Do you remember the movie that came out in the late 80s with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner, The War of the Roses? One of the greatest examples of dark humor I think there is. They play a divorcing couple fighting over who gets to keep their house. It's very, very funny. And there's this one scene where Kathleen Turner has made a special dinner, supposedly to move them toward reconciliation. And toward the end of the meal, Michael Douglas asks where his dog is. And she replies, "Did you like the pâté?" And he says, "Yes, it was delicious, but where's the dog?" And she looks at him deadpan and says, "Woof." Horrible, I know. Like really horrible, but also horribly funny. And spoiler, nothing bad actually happened to the dog. The dog was fine. Absurd or surreal humor is one of my favorites. It's just stuff that's totally illogical and bizarre, and so it catches you by surprise. Think Monty Python. Someone says, "I didn't expect that," and out jump three men in clerical garb saying, "No one expects the Spanish Inquisition." And they then proceed to employ torture devices such as the comfy chair or the soft pillow. Yeah. And then as the mother of 2 boys, I certainly can't skip over bodily humor. For years, all I had to do if they were fighting and things were getting boring or tense was just say, fart. Both my boys would dissolve into uncontrollable laughter. Honestly, I don't entirely get it, but I'm telling you, it works, especially with little boys. We have dad jokes. Anybody here like dad jokes? Here's a couple good dad jokes for you. Where do polar bears keep their money? In a snowbank. How do you make an egg roll? You push it. What would bears be without bees? Ears. What do you call a pile of cats? A mountain. Why do cows wear bells? Because their horns don't work. So I'm also a fan of those videos they make these days where people talk for their pets. Do you know those? Oh, those are hilarious. Really, anything with silly animals in it makes me giggle. Here's one. So, which kind of humor is best? The one that works for you. Huffington Post reports that in a trial of 200 people, dark humor was the least popular, while physical humor came out on top. Also, educated people tended to find physical humor less funny than wit and wordplay, while older people found everything less funny across the board. What's up with that? Now, some of us are going to find some forms of humor offensive, and I'm not going to say we need to loosen up. When something is offensive to us or hurtful or destructive, I think we should speak up. For a long time, my kids tried to convince me to watch this prank show that I found mean-spirited and wildly uncomfortable, but that they thought was hilarious. Finally, I just put my foot down and explained to them that what was happening felt like bullying to me. They didn't agree, but they did change the channel if I came into the room when they were watching it, so that was something. I think when we're feeling all tight and afraid or worried or sad, sometimes what we really need to do is just loosen up, because we can't be effective humans when we're in that state, when we're tight and worried and sad. There's a song, and this is not a joke song, this is a real song. It goes like this. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. A sense of humor, I think, is one of the key elements in our spiritual toolkit. You know about the UU Hysterical Society? Yeah. So it's a Facebook group, and it has nearly 200,000 members, which means it is our single most effective outreach tool in the entire religious movement, our whole faith. And they post mostly funny stuff, but then there are these conversations that flow from the funny stuff that get into our values and our preferences and what we believe and don't believe. It's kind. They're very clear about that. It's real. And as I said, it's by far the most effective outreach strategy that we as Unitarian Universalists have ever employed. Laughter makes us more resilient, relaxes us. It changes our brain chemistry in beneficial ways. It just feels good, except when it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes grief or trauma are blocking our access to the present moment, to our experience of joy. And those moments are actually the reason for this entire service. Because when they come, and they come for all of us, I want you to remember, again, laughter doesn't invalidate or minimize grief, horror, or trauma. Laughter is one of the things that allows us to process and integrate grief, horror, and trauma. So when it comes to those moments when we just can't bear it anymore, sometimes the right mood is to find a way to laugh. even if it feels fake or contrived or sacrilegious or disrespectful, because the way laughter works is that once we get started, it gets easier and it starts to flow, and then we get all of those perks. We get ease, we get connection, we get perspective. We get the release of fear and tension, all that stuff we tend to hold on to that makes us feel so hopeless and tight and tired. So let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, and laugh. Laughter is cathartic. It is profoundly human and deeply, deeply necessary. So whatever tickles your funny bone, go find more of that, and don't feel guilty about it. Don't wonder if you are wasting time. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Everything on our to-do list is optional at best. The only thing we have to do is stay sane, stay kind, and stay human. And laughing will help us do that. So, how many Unitarians does it take to change a light bulb? We choose not to make a statement either in favor of or against the need for a light bulb. However, if in your own journey you have found that light bulbs work for you, that is wonderful. You are invited to write a poem or compose an interpretive dance about your personal relationship with your light bulb. Present it next month at our annual Light Bulb Sunday service, in which we will explore a number of light bulb traditions, including incandescent, fluorescent, three-way, long life, LED, and tinted, all of which are equally valid paths to luminescence. Yeah. So be it, and blessed be. Our closing hymn is number 153, Wake Now, My Husband. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. It's 298, to the tune of actually. 298, Wake Now, My Senses.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Please be seated.
I thought there was one more.
Yeah. We'll write one for the next time we do this. Mm-hmm. Our closing reading is actually a little clip of Stephen Colbert. So, yeah. Our musical benediction is always look on the bright side of life.
Okay, so I'm going to need your help with this. Choir, please come up. So we've got two soloists. Everybody say hi to Gary. Hi, Gary. And then Sue's going to take the other solo. Hi, Sue. Sue, wave. Hi, that's Sue. So they're going to alternate with singing the verse, and you guys are going to sing along with us on the chorus. The words are easy. Always look on the bright side of life. If you guys know Monty Python, it's from that. The third verse, though, says always look on the bright side of death. But just follow them. They know what they're doing. And there's also a whistling part for those who don't want to sing. And so it goes. So we'll really need your help with that one. All right, so Gary's going to start us off.
Some things in life are bad. They can really make you sad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's garlic, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing.
When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. For life is quite absurd, and death's the final word. You must always face the curtain with a bow.
Forget about your sin, give the audience a grin. Enjoy it, it's your last chance anyhow.
Always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. For life is quite absurd, and death's the final word. Life's a laugh and death's a joke, it's true. You see it's all a show, keep laughing as you go. Remember that the last laugh is on you. Everybody, always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Side of life. Side of life. Side of life.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. Extinguish this chalice, that it might flow gently from our hearts. As we leave this place, may it guide our way until we are together again. Go forth then and laugh. Laugh and play and goof off and live. Live more fully. This is the pathway. This is one of the pathways that we need to travel if we're going to be happy and healthy and whole. I love you all. Have a good week. I'll see you next week. Oh, and don't forget coffee downstairs.